Alephium Assemble.
Hello and welcome back to Alephium Assemble, episode number 15. Now, most of you already know us by now, but for those who don't, I'm Pepper, head of marketing here at Alephium, your favorite layer 1 proof of work scalable blockchain. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Carla, head of ecosystem. Carla, how are you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm good. I'm a bit tired. Not gonna lie, the past 2 weeks have been pretty intense, I will say. I dropped 2 videos on my YouTube channel, so it's been a lot of work on top of everything else at Alephium. But yeah, happy to be back as always. And let's start.
Oh, what were those YouTube videos about? Maybe I can drop the links for those watching on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. It was the first one was about my thesis, my crypto thesis, my investment thesis for 2026. And the second one is more about marketing things in crypto industry that I saw. So basically, lots of different exchanges or company, like crypto company, they do games competitions. So analyze the different marketing strategy between them, and it's in French speaking. Sorry for just English speakers, but maybe it's your time to learn French.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to brush up on my français because those videos sound awesome. That's all my kind of topics. But topics. Today's topics for Alephium Assemble. I'm gonna go through the latest Powfi Testnet data grab that I've got from the devs. Carla's going to talk to you about Coinstancy. That's a new partner that we've got. You probably saw an announcement last week. I'm going to tell you a bit about what the team's currently working on. This is like a mid-week update. Carla's ecosystem review, the highlight of the show in my opinion. I'll tell you a bit about what's going on with X Spaces for those who like to tune in and who like to win ALF. And I'm also going to talk to you a little bit at the end. It'll be worth your wait. About how close we are to mainnet for Powfi. I know a lot of you have been asking that over and over again on Telegram and Discord. We don't have a fixed date, but I will tell you more. First of all, onto the data from the testnet. Yes, we're using Phantom Analytics, and my lovely colleague Ilias, front-end dev, he sent me a screenshot of the latest data. I can confirm, it should be up here on the screen now, you can see for yourself, 13.9 thousand unique visitors to Powfi in a bear market. That's incredible. For a chain of our size, that's absolutely amazing. We're very happy with that. And that equates to 85.9 thousand page views. By the time you watch this, who knows, it could be at 100k. I'm bullish, maybe optimistic, but over 7 minutes on the site per person on a testnet, that's pretty good. So yes, thank you, Ilias, for sharing that. And I hope you are as optimistic as we are, because Powfi, it's coming soon. Now, Carla, we mentioned Coinstancy. I wrote a little post about it, but could you perhaps tell us a little bit more for those who aren't yet in the know?
Yeah, sure. So Coinstancy is not really a DApp. It's more like a yield service provider. They basically act as a custodian and deploy user funds into DeFi strategy to generate returns, usually targeting around, I will say, 5 to 12% APY. And what's interesting here is that they have started deploying stablecoin liquidity directly on Alephium. More concretely, what this means. So as part of the partnership, they are planning to allocate liquidity into the Leaks app. So for us, it's pretty, straightforward. More liquidity coming into the ecosystem, especially on the lending side. And on their side, they get visibility and support from the ecosystem. So it's a bit like a win-win. It's still early, but it's a good signal to see external players starting to plug into Alephium and bring capital in.
Yeah, I agree. I wrote about this a while ago about how, Alephium is really so nicely set up for kind of institutional players to get involved. But of course, we have to compete with EVM chains where it's all plug and play. It's a lot easier. But when it comes to providing liquidity, it's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, welcome to the Alephium ecosystem, to the Coinstancy team. Very glad to have you here. And yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. So let's see how that plays out. Now, talking about playing, or perhaps working, maybe more important, what is the team working on right now? Well, I reached out to them just this morning because I wanted to know, before the dev update, what's actually like high priority right now. So Ilias told me that improving Powfi's UX, like user experience, especially for adding liquidity and creating pools. If you go on our Twitter feed, you can see some screenshots of that, but I'll put it up on screen now also so you can see their design work. They're also, I believe this is Mika, is integrating staking to the mobile wallet. Not an easy task, I think, but mobile users will thus be able to manage their staked ALF directly within the mobile wallet without having to open Powfi, which is pretty cool. Again, better UX for you guys. They're also working on calculating and displaying APR in the Powfi staking page. I talked to the team about this recently. It's not that straightforward. Providing APR, it actually takes a bit of time to give the correct numbers. The longer the time goes on, the more correct the number becomes. So it's not just something that will appear overnight, but gradually over time. They're also implementing a smart contract upgrade mechanism for Powfi smart contracts. That's the dev side. Myself, marketing side, working on some long form content, mostly making sure that everything's kind of in place and ready to go for when we hit mainnet. That's things like press releases, articles, socials, visuals, all this kind of stuff. That's keeping me quite busy. We've also been working on some content around ecosystem and also some external pieces too. So a lot going on the long form, and I'm very proud of that because there's so much pushback against AI articles, and we try to keep things human and authentic and enjoyable to read. We're people and you're people, so that's very important to me. We're also working with some external partners, for example MEXC, to try and get more content or more stuff about Alephium on external partner pages. I think that's very important so that more people find our chain and can get involved. Another thing that keeps me quite busy is just providing support around the ecosystem with the dApps that need it, the builders who need it, ideas, review, editing, collaboration, whatever it may be. Finally, I'm also always on the lookout for good organic marketing opportunities. That could be like co-marketing, but it's more recently it's X Spaces. So you'll see that we pop up on some really good X Spaces with pretty big projects like Meteora, Phoenix, and Pharos, and it's so awesome to be alongside these. But it's hard to find more. So if you like X Spaces and you regularly listen to crypto, Web3, blockchain X Spaces, and there's some that you know of, perhaps they're not on my radar, please tag them with a comment below. That would be super helpful. Then I can reach out and try and get on their next panel. That would be awesome. Now, I am very interested in my favorite part of the show, where I can take a breather. Carla, it's time for the ecosystem review. All yours.
Right, let's go. And this week is interesting because it's not about big announcements, sorry, but it's more about refinement, improvement, and small things compounding over time. So let's start with links. They have been continuously improving the product, especially on the swap side and the dashboard. Better UI, clear price impact warnings, token value display, all the things that actually make a difference when you are using the app daily. And at the same time, traction keeps growing. They are now sitting around 4,000, no, 420k TVL, sorry, still offering around 10% APY on USDT with incentives still running. On the DeFi side as well, Alexium is still doing its things. We are seeing strong APR against both on LP and voting, with some pools going above 50% plus APR and even higher when you stack incentive. And they're staying consistent with their approach, accumulate, incentivize, and build over the time without chasing hype. So that's nice. Now, something I want to highlight quickly, something that I have forget to highlight in the last Alephium Assembly, a bit more on the fun side, is ALF 2048. So yeah, it's basically a fully on-chain version of 2048 game, but with a competitive twist. So this is not really just a simple clone. It's a fully on-chain competitive game with rule mechanism behind it. You connect your wallet, pay an entry fee around 1/2, and that feeds into a shared pot. Then you've got 8 minutes to play and try to beat the current high score. And the interesting part is the incentive structure. If you became the new number 1, you will win half of the pot and the rest stay in the system for the next player. There is also dynamic mechanism like entries fees decreasing after win or full reset if no one beat the score after 24 hours. So it's simple but actually quite smart in terms of game design and on-chain incentives. And I saw some of you are clearly grinding it pretty hard. But yeah, shout out to Jomark for building this game. It's really nice game. And thank you for this game. It's just some entertainment for our community. Then on the tooling side, Not Trust Verify keeps shipping. They upgraded track Alpha again. So now you can even track Ethereum activity alongside Alephium with alerts directly on Telegram. So it's via webhook for those are a bit technical, but it's becoming more and more of a real monitoring tool and just not a simple notification bot. So that's really great. And finally, a quick mention for Do. They have been improving their TVL reporting, make it easier to understand how liquidity move across the ecosystem, which is super valuable for both users and builders. And yeah, that's pretty much for ecosystem review this week. And we'll see what's next in the few weeks.
Let's talk about X Spaces. Now, at the time of recording, unfortunately, I do not have the next X Space booked in, but there's a good reason for that. There are quite a few big things happening behind the scenes with different dApps, also with us. So I didn't want to kind of force it or put a filler episode out there. We want to bring intentional value and well thought out episodes for you guys. So it's a better use of everyone's time, mine, Carla's, yours, to make sure that all episodes are like really high quality and important, and hopefully have some alpha. I love when they have some alpha. So yeah, the next few episodes will be big ones, but there'll be a gap between now and the next one. But if you are sad that you maybe won't hear my voice, don't be, because I have got an X Space next Monday, so it's already live by the time you watch this episode. unless it got postponed for some reason. That's with Open Campus. That's a pretty cool like decentralized learning protocol project. So I'll be on their panel on Monday the 31st. So you can just scroll down a little bit. I'm sure you'll find that on our timeline on X. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll have to go to X. Yeah, and on to the final thing. The question, the golden question that everybody keeps asking us. Carla, how close are we to mainnet?
That's
Carla,
$1 Christmas. What?
Oh, Carla, come on, you must know. Can you tell me?
I can't tell you. I'm really sorry. I don't have the date. I don't have the date, and it's not public. It's not announced yet. But I'm sure we are closer, and every day we are closer to launch it. But yeah, we don't for now. We don't say a date.
Yes, this information is so private that we actually don't know it. But we are getting so close. I do know that, like the list of stuff to fix and tweak is getting smaller every week. So if you want to keep up to date as best you can, we put out the weekly dev update, now called March to Mainnet, on Fridays on X. So go find it. But apart from the dev update, really the best way to stay up to date with all things in the Alephium ecosystem is to watch Alephium Assemble. So if you have watched this and you're still listening to us, please remember to like, comment, repost, bookmark, anything you can do to support this video. Well, I guess that's it all from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Carla, could you say a big lovely goodbye to our audience?
Yeah, lovely goodbye.
Bye
See you
bye.
guys.
See you in a minute.
Well, isn't that just perfect? It's all done now.